Mr. Graham, homework help. You got homework help. Let's start. Alright guys, it's time for some homework. Last little bit of the week, if I'm not mistaken. And we're on page 141. So please, turn to page 141, and here we go. This is all it is, but it's rather big. It's one problem, but it's got many pieces. And as a fourth grader, you have to get used to the idea that one problem can take more than 1 second, you know. It's going to have multiple pieces. That means different parts of work for you to do. Use what you have learned to complete this task. Alright, here we go. It's task time. Jen has 4/10, we're going to make note of that, of a kilogram of dog food. Louise, or Lewis, has 3/10 of a kilogram of dog food. A large dog eats 2/10 of a kilogram in one meal. Write 2 different questions about this problem that involve adding or subtracting. No problem. No problem. That's easy. Let's do the adding first, okay? So it can be a word problem. How much dog food does Jen and Louise have all together? Or I shouldn't say does Jen, do Jen and Louise? Do Jen and Louise have all together? Okay. And that's the question. And we'll put right next to that, we'll put what's the math part? Like what's the actual math in that question? Well, that's easy. It's 4/10 plus 3/10. And then that's the addition problem. And how about a subtraction problem? It says to do adding or subtracting fractions. Let's do subtracting next. You can say, after the large dog eats, how much dog food is left over? And that's not hard to think about because, like, we're doing subtraction, right? So how much is left over is totally what you might say for a subtraction problem. And what's the math in that one look like? What does it look like? Well, what's the total dog food? If you figured out the first answer, you know how much total dog food there is. There's 4/10 plus 3/10 equals 7/10. And if it was subtracting how much a dog eats, how much does a dog eat? It eats 2/10. So we got to subtract 2/10. No problem. You see, the only hard part is if you were reading carefully enough to know that 4/10 plus 3/10 is the addition, and 7/10 minus 2/10 is a subtraction. It's not that the math is hard, it's that reading and understanding how to make your own problems right here, that's the hard part. Now it says choose one of your questions to answer, circle the question you choose, show how to find the answer using a number line and an area model. Oh boy, so that's quite a bit of work, and I'm going to do both of them. So I'm going to circle both of them, because I'm doing both of them. And one of them is 4/10 plus 3/10. And I'll do that on that side. And I know I'm asking myself to do more work, but whatever, I'm not a lazy guy, let's do it. And the other one is 7/10 minus 2/10. No problem. So first it says show how to find the answer using a number line and an area model. No problem. So I'll get a number line ready for both of them. Number line and number line. And then I'll get some shape ready for an area model ready for both of them. Alright. And all right. Okay. Now it's time to do the work. So we have 4/10 plus 3/10. So we're going to start at 0. And we're going to have 1/10. While I'm doing this, you can set it up the same way. You might set it up a little faster, and if you do, that's no problem. Just go ahead and do the addition for the problem. Think about it. 4/10 plus 3/10. That's not very hard, is it? Just remember that the denominator is going to stay the same, and that the numerator, that's going to be the number that changes. Okay, almost done. And there you go. That's all you need for the number line on that problem. Whew. So we start where it says to start. We start at 4/10, which is right there. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add 3/10, which means move over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Where do we end? At 7/10. In an area model, that's not much harder. All you have to do is make sure you have tenths, which is very easy to do. Just draw your lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have, that's 10 different pieces there. And we're going to shade in 4 to start. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to shade in 3 more for the 3/10. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to count how many we have all together. And I think you'll see that it equals 7/10 one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No problem. 7/10. The answer, again, I feel like I've said it 4 times now, is 7/10. Dun, 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 dun. Now we can do the same thing for 7/10 minus 2/10. And I'm going to save myself a little trouble. I'm going to reuse some of my stuff actually. So hold on, let me just delete this because I don't need this anymore. Go away. And I'm going to copy and paste this real quick. They're not going to be exactly the same. There's going to be some differences. Put that right there. Okay. So over here we're doing subtraction. So we should start at 7/10, where it says to start. But then we have to take away 2/10. So we take away 2/10. We go 1. Take away means go left, you know, go the other way. And 2. And where do we end? 5/10. 7 minus 2 is 5. That shouldn't surprise you. Down here we have 7/10 shaded in. But if we took away 2/10, take away 1, take away 2. How many tenths are left over? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's 5/10. Can you believe all that work came from just one little problem? That was one problem. Now it's on you. It's up to you as a big-time 4th grader to be able to sit through this problem, read, understand, do what the question tells you to do. From beginning all the way to the end. And if you can do that, you're going to get some great scores on your end of the year testing. Alright guys, that's all we have time for this evening. Thanks for doing your homework with me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.